We'll pay attention to that then.
And then also everyone's on track with we're converting to the original rules for melee.
Yep.
If you fail, you
where
still
it's
hit.
like, yeah, that.
Yeah, so if like you roll like a -3, they roll a -5, you still hit them. It's just your weapons plus your strength or whatever -3 instead of plus whatever, because of adding SL and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully it will speed up combat.
Hopefully.
We shall see.
Or our demise.
It'll be both. Don't worry about that.
And if we
Yeah,
die
sure.
faster, combat ends faster, right?
Damn right.
Exactly. And I get what I want.
Cause I wanna die. He's our muffin.
Let me put on some
It's a
pants.
fucking shot.
I'm back.
You guys will be lucky this game, wanna know why? Because Chewy's
Why?
gonna be sitting right next to me.
Chewie!
Boy.
Oh boy.
The dark god.
Yeah, we only really get his blessing when we take like a corruption point.
Like I said, the dark god.
Well,
No, they call him the Dark God. Because whenever they have to like roll, it doesn't fucking matter. But whenever they need to roll for something and he's around, they pass.
Hey Matt, I got a wonderfully stupid question for you.
That's it.
Nowhere under range of combat does it say if you fuck up the roll you miss, which is stupid.
Well, I mean, obviously you'd miss. Because you're not gonna hit every time.
Not fair.
Since it's
But it would be,
range.
so, I guess if it was like... Yeah,
Well, say we do an opposed, right? We got a shield.
I think
This
we'd
is
be caught on the
let's
shield,
just do
though.
the same shit we've been doing for range combat.
for
Yeah,
range.
this is
let's
just
not
a
change
whole new-
range.
This is a whole new can of worms.
Let's not
I
touch
agree.
that.
I agree with that.
As written, it's like range combat is just made like with a couple caveats.
Why you out here? Did you just waste a critical success?
Oh, also,
apparently.
I was
just get
reading-
up a goddamn.
I don't know if you guys were doing this or not. I think I saw a couple times where you guys did, but if you, I think it says in range combat, if you block a ranged attack, you don't get advantage.
Oh no, we never really did that. We never gained advantage for it.
Or was never really
Then
an
again, we
area
did-
where
We never
blocked
really got shot.
That's true.
It is interesting.
It's good to know. Yeah, I should have.
Yeah, no, there's just like
think about it.
2 pages covering range combat, and that's no overstatement by far.
Yeah, I really wish they would have put like, because I was debating how to go about it. Like, black powder weapons. Can you parry black powder weapons?
I don't think so.
Because
That sounds
I mean,
weird.
yeah, that
As
just
written, you can use a shield, you can dodge it in certain circumstances, but god damn, it's
yeah,
a
like
gun.
I don't know. I couldn't like justify like yeah,
Like
your
if you're
shield.
melee, you can like move out of the way since like the gun's right in your face, so you can probably
Yeah.
tilt it.
But I don't know if you guys are okay with that. That's what I was gonna.
I'm fine with that, because the
See.
black powder weapons are rare as is.
Exactly. You don't really see people with them.
It has to be a thing, though, right?
Like
They're black
the most.
Because that's
They
the
don't. They don't.
Yeah,
have
they don't
any
explain it.
rules on it. Cause I'm on a Discord where like a bunch of GMs like discuss the rule book and stuff, and I think there's
shit.
even like a administrator for the actual book that answers like random questions or something here and there.
Cool.
But that's why I've been going over with some of these questions, but they didn't really have anything for the ranged, for black powder. And then for like magic, really the only way to dodge or negate that is basically if someone else, what do you call it?
Like counter spells or some shit?
Counter spells it, yeah. Because if someone does a spell, you have like, as a wizard or whatever, you have like a 1 reaction, I think, to dispel spells per turn or something like that.
Yeah, you fuck
It's
with the
based-
user.
Yeah, so it's based off of you know, how well the other person rolls and stuff like that. Both.
Alright, I think I'm gonna dip into Wizard after I'm done with Hunter.
And then also for magic, I remember saying in there that if you wear like any armor, the highest point of armor you have on a specific location is how many SLs you subtract from your roll. So if you have like one armor point on like every location except your head, but you have 2 armor points on your head, then it'd be a -2. So it's like the highest.
The highest
Armor.
one to fuck with you.
So it's not like cumulative, it's just like what the highest
Ooh, what about the color rule for clothing?
I mean, if you're like a mage, I'm guessing you'd be in that anyways. So.
Quick, Monty, what color gear are you wearing? No, don't answer that. I don't. A can of worms right there.
The most obvious one for a guy like me.
A duck thong and beaver boots.
Penguin, man, penguin. Have some goddamn class.
God damn.
So it's like, I guess I'll ask you that question when we're in game. But alright, let me sit down. And Chewie, stop licking your ass. I bet he did it. Alright. So... God damn it. Alright. So I believe we left off with just the, you guys finishing up the endeavors.
Yep.
You there?
Gave a brief overview.
Yeah, you said you go more in detail.
It's alright. I'm just gonna jump on into it. We'll start off with Heartwind. You are summoned to the local government building within the town of Salzman. When you make your way through the town, you notice it's kind of in an uproar, as it has been for the past couple years, due to like the rioting and the famine, also the disease, right? There's disease.
Pestilence.
Yeah.
What was it? Disease.
The bloody flux.
It was disease, famine,
Riots.
and riots. I don't remember. I don't know what the bloody flux was.
It's like bloody diarrhea or some
You
shit.
shit yourself to death.
Dysentery.
And
Quite
the
literally.
banks have been failing as well.
And the what?
The banks have been fucking failing as well.
Oh yeah. Hold B. No, go out. Hold B. Now do it. So yeah, it's just a fucking mess. I mean, it's kind of contradicted like what I said in the beginning when
Yeah, the town was prospering. And
the
then
town was prospering. So that's like, the first couple of years then. The town was prospering.
And then it
And
exploded.
then it just fucking exploded into this fucking thing. So I guess most businesses have all the businesses that came due to the booming economy have left due to the rioting, the disease, and the famine. But really, that's kind of like the famine's just kind of widespread throughout the Nordland region. And so when you're walking down the downtown area to get to the local government building, there's a big population of homeless people now, well, homeless, starving people, along with a tolling number of deaths. So there are also a lot of more priests walking around, gathering up bodies and trying to perform the right rituals, and also trying to keep, creatures that follow or that are attracted to big I'm trying to think of what I should say, like big catastrophes like this, like just large bodies and a large amount. I
Of
don't
dead
know why I
bodies.
can't say this. I don't know why I can't say this. That's what I'm trying to say, but I'm
Large
trying to
amounts of
say
despair.
no. Basically, like how when a bunch of fucking people die, like out in a fucking field somewhere in like a battle, ghouls
Mass
will, like,
graves?
come out. Yeah, mass graves. Ghouls will come out and try to like fucking eat them and shit.
Of course.
Basically, they're trying to like deter that.
Good fucking lord.
sanctified.
And so yeah, and then a lot of the big businesses have also been run out of town, and it's more of just like the local stores that have kind of stayed in business just because they don't really have anywhere else to go, and they're really just kind of hanging on a whim. And you also know that a lot of the what are they called, courtiers? It's like the class name for them.
Mm-hmm.
Have kind of left town as well due to the riots, due to kind of like the Wild Wild West style of justice, like mob rule kind of stuff. Because even the local guard and the small station of state troops, it's kind of hard for them to handle such rowdy mobs, which is probably something that Frederick has to deal with quite often on his day-to-day job. What, Smudge? Shut the fuck up. So you, and this is just something that like everyone has noticed, throughout living here like the past couple years. And Nylafi, I don't know if you've been in Salzman for too long, or if you've just kind of arrived after receiving your quest, but even if you just arrived, this is kind of something that you've noticed like right off the bat as well.
Gotcha.
And as for Heartwind, so you're summoned to the local town government building. So this isn't where like the Elector Count kind of resides. He's in like basically like the big fucking like keep and shit. but you make your way into the town council chamber. Guards are posted on both sides of the door. Benches are set on both sides of the room, and down a cobbleway path, 2 steps lead up to the council member table. Usually there's about 5 members sitting at the table at once, but this time it's only 1. And he sits in the middle of the table with a map and a parchment laid out. One of the guards will kind of step up the stairs and announce your arrival. And he will kind of like look up and says, he says, I wasn't sure if you'd make it past the mobs.
I would be able to navigate my way through a crowd, even if they do seem intimidating. Trust me, I've faced far worse.
I would not doubt it. He says, as you know, throughout the recent years, things within Nordland have been, well, let's say, not very pleasant for the noble and the rabble alike.
I would imagine when I left, it definitely was a lot more green.
Yes. Says, but unfortunately we have another issue to stack upon our pile of issues.
What would that be?
Says there's the matter of Beckerhoven. Says it's a very delicate matter. He says the town, and he'll bring up the map. And Beckerhoven, and they'll point to the map right here. He says it has rebelled and taken the opportunity of our forces being split to declare this action, and has also taken our last of our food caravans and supplies on their way from Luftberg, which I'll point to the map, which is right here. It basically says the caravan was following this trail, the dotted line, when it reached the outskirts of Beckerhoven. They believe the rebel forces intercepted them, took all the supplies, and stored it within a small fort near the town. It says, as I said, our forces are split. One army is in the north, fighting the Northmen, and in the south, beastmen ravage our lands. He says, actually, they're not even, this map's too small. But basically, I don't know if you guys have seen like the map, but there's like, I think past the Lauren Forest and all the way down south, there's like a large mountain range. And then I think there's like a small passage through from like where Bretonia is into Nordland, I think. And basically he just kind of describes that's kind of where they're at, and they're kind of pushing our forces back.
I see.
So he says we don't. Above that, our generals are in short spare, all in the north or south, and even on other fronts dictated by the Empire. He says our administrative staff, the nobles, as you know, have mostly fleeing from the town, afraid of what will happen to them if they are caught by the crowds you have seen outside.
That's definitely
Says, I know.
understandable.
Says, I know you have not been active within the forms of war for the last few years, but the realm is in dire need of a capable leader. So I wish to call you to your services for the realm.
Then you shall have them. I cannot believe good people to be left out to starve like this, and especially by a bandit group that seeks to only benefit themselves.
It's hard to find a man with such a moral compass in these dear times.
Starvation can do that to quite a few men, but even then, it's hard to maintain resolve. Is there any possible rumors of how large these groups have been when they attacked the caravan?
Yeah, my scouts say more than 100, and they even say that an unknown banner flew. Even represented, maybe not even a peasant band, but maybe some sort of organized militia.
Definitely bodes for us.
Says I have sent out what little servants I have left to acquire information on this group, but none have turned up anything useful.
Definitely understandable. Even on the matter of scouting this, I would still recommend being careful. There's so much hunger and chaos on the rise. It's getting scarce to know who you can truly trust.
Yes, it is indeed. He says, but your actions will not go unrewarded. He says, the records show that you are a wandering knight. You do not yet hold allegiance to a certain knighthood.
Not yet, my good one.
Says if everything goes well on your quest, he says I can maybe put in a few good words, and once the other councilmen return back, they can as well, for entry of your chosen knighthood, or your chosen chapter.
I would look forward to that, but of course only on the success of retaining peace in this countryside.
So yes, please, if possible, avoid any type of conflict. He says any loss of our forces is one too many. He says we do not have able bodies to replenish our thinning ranks. He says that this consumption is lasted a lot longer than any of our apothecaries or healers thought it would. Says it's affected the young, the old, the healthy. I've reported at least 30 healthy laborers died this week due to it.
Quite an aggressive disease.
So stay clear if you can, and stay clear of the more priests. They do not necessarily enjoy outsiders meddling in their affairs.
Understandable. I dare not disturb the dead out of respect myself personally. I've seen its wrath.
But yes, my main concern is settling this peacefully and acquiring our stolen food and supplies, but if it cannot be obtained peacefully, then do what you must as more will perish if we do not get the supplies and food soon.
Yes.
As winter has set upon us, and nights will get colder and colder. Oh yeah, I also forgot. You guys remember when I said
Coldest winter in
in like 20 years? Yeah.
Aside from those who have probably been escorted out by their own militia protection, are there any other regiments still within the area active that have been taking care of this matter?
He says he brings out a roster, and he says. Says here is a roster I have conscripted.
Take a look over it and see how many men they got.
Hold on. Oh, sorry, just answering a question. But he will hand you a roster. He says, I have been writing up this roster the last couple days. He will hand it to you. And it's a roster with about 160 names on it. It's categorized by basically like what they belong to. 100 of the names are basically militiamen, and it's a mix of like an actual militia set up by the town that like kind of trains every so often, you know, like most militias, they're not like professional soldiers or anything like that.
Emergency soldiers.
Yeah, basically they're like I guess the Minutemen. And then there's also like so I guess it's like split, so it's like that, and then also just like straight up peasants that were conscripted in like this kind of dire time. 50 of them are free company men, so basically they're mercenaries led by their own like hierarchy of like officers and stuff like that. And then the state could only give 8 state troopers, which are like the professional soldiers, because all the other ones are either like guarding like crucial key points or up in the armies in the north and the south.
I could definitely tell everything's been worn fairly thin, but make do with what I have.
Yes, yes. Just get with him over there, and he'll point to like us, basically like a person that works at like the local government, like under the council, and he will summon your forces at the militia training grounds, just north of the city.
I will not fail you. I will try and do this peacefully at first, but if it's trained militiamen that are bearing down for these attacks, I suspect I might have to take the head of one of the leaders just to make sure that this villainous snake is easily dispatched and dispersed.
It says, if you're able to capture any leader, please ensure he is captured alive and brought here for justice to be served the right way.
Of course.
Since I have at least one judge here that was not afraid to stay here and do his bidding for the Empire.
Then I will not make his resolve to stay, invalid. And definitely have to bring this brigand in.
Thank you. And he says, if you wish to, and then I guess, also on that roster would have been a name you, would have recognized too as, frickin' Frederick, and then also Lout.
I assume it shows their rank.
Yeah. Lout, it like says, apprentice, which magic?
Oh, Wizard's Apprentice, Lore of Life.
Lore of Life. There you go. And then for Frederick, it says sergeant.
Does warm my heart to see that some of my friends are still alive. Excuse me while I head out quickly. I want to be sure to meet up with them before matters go into full swing.
Says yes, of course. He says, please keep me updated with messages, at least daily, if possible.
I will do.
Very good. And then he'll kind of just gesture for you to leave.
Bow out and head on out to find the regiments, and I'll get some reports on this situation and what we're working with.
Good. Going over to Frederick.
Anyhow.
Maybe your training. I forgot to get the names for your 8 dudes, but
It's gonna be the 8 new ones.
yeah, the 8 new ones. Oh, I forgot to get the direwolf stats too.
Oh, they're in the book.
Well, there was oh yeah, they're wolf, right? There's a wolf in there. I was just gonna beef it up since it's a direwolf.
I thought
Gotcha.
direwolf stats were in the book as well.
Those are undead
Direwolves
direwolves.
Dead ones. That was my,
Gotcha.
But anyways, maybe you're like training or you're on downtime. Regardless, a messenger will come to you, and he will hand you a letter, and he'll say, "This is a message coming from High Command."
Understood.
And then he'll kind of just run off.
I'm gonna grab him.
Alright.
Can you read?
He says, "I can."
Then read it to me.
Ah, my apologies, Ed. Basically opens the letter and basically just says that you and your men are to report to the militia training fields north of the city as soon as possible for a mustering of troops to head. What was it? East, southeast-ish to Beckerhoven. It doesn't tell you why though.
I'm gonna give him 3 silver and just say, forget the contents of that letter now.
He'll just kind of look confused, and then he'll put it in his pocket, and he will run off.
He's gonna whip around to his little suicide squad. Get ready. We have orders to move out.
They're all kind of, the fuck? They're all kind of like look up at you, and they look nervous, and they start kind of rifling through their gear, and you know, it's just kind of like, for trained professionals, it's just kind of
Discouraging.
not discouraging, but they just look very unorganized. Green,
You're gonna
basically.
die. Yeah.
Green.
Well, one of you might make it. One of you might
So you have we have 7 no, yeah, just all 8 are just green guys.
Gotcha.
Chewie, I will fucking knock you the fuck out.
He confused me earlier. He was like,
Calm
yeah,
down,
look at you,
Michael
he was like,
Vick.
the
Holy
fuck?
shit.
Dude, there's nothing even under here, you stupid bitch.
There is. You're just not listening to it.
Ah. God damn. There. Alright. And then as for Danny,
Yes.
what would your character be doing in the morning when there's all this famine, riots, people basically that want to fucking lynch you, basically? That's what they kind of want to do. People are shitting in the streets and fucking puking at the same time.
Oh my god.
God damn. He would probably be hanging around the nobles that are left in town, anyone of his own social rank, trying to keep his head down. You know, hoping maybe a fight breaks out and that one of them wants to hire him to fight someone so he can make some money. That too, to avoid the malaise of shit and vomit.
Yeah. Alright, so there are very few like nobles still in the town, and the ones that are kind of, like you said, laying low, so they're not like flaunting around their wealth or anything like that. They're wearing like common clothing and just trying to, like, you know, blend in as much as possible. Would it be possible you're at like maybe like an inn or something? Maybe like a somewhat higher class inn? Yeah.
Probably somewhere with alcohol.
Yeah. So a messenger will kind of barge in. The place is pretty dead, as is most of the population. So there's really not a lot of merrymaking going around because no one has the coin to merrymake, and there's really not enough supplies to merrymake. Because I think food and shit costs more money.
Oh yeah, and during a famine too.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I think there's like one of the rules that we rolled, it like actually makes in-game provisions and bullshit cost more. I don't remember the exact price, but it doesn't really matter.
Double.
Double? So it's basically just you and like maybe like a couple other patrons and these people that you're kind of hanging out with. And a messenger will kind of barge in, and it's just kind of like quiet, and you just see him kind of like step up on a table, and he kind of like looks up at the people that are in there, and he says, The city of Salzmund is conscripting all that is able to fight and will be reimbursed with payment. If you are able to fight, hold a sword for your empire, please step forward. And you just see like a couple of people like in the back, just kind of like they don't really like say anything, and they just kind of like huddle like kind of close together and kind of like avoid the like announcement. And then basically it just kind of repeats the same thing.
I'd step up.
It says, "You, sir, what is your name?"
My name's Flynn. You were talking about pay?
Yes, pay? Of course.
I like money. How much?
It says, he says, at least...
Happening.
That voice reminds me of a voice I think I heard in Fable. Like the first Fable game.
Yes, that's what I heard.
Chicken chaser.
Oh, like morning.
Chases chickens.
Oh my shit, fuck. I hate that title so much.
It says the payment is 12 silver a week.
Is that it?
Oh, yes, that's it. Do you have any better sources of income at the moment?
Oh well, at the moment, no. It's better than what I got. Sure. I gotta sign my name or something.
Yes, please. Wait, can your person? You should read and write, right? Because you're
No, I can't read and write.
Oh, okay. It says people would at least know how to like sign their name, right? Back then, if they were like signing up for something, right?
Yeah, I would know how to sign.
They did scribbly lines.
It was
They
like
didn't
scribbles,
sign their
yeah.
names.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like it was like
He remembered
It
how
was
to
like-
do a specific scribbly line.
they would come up with like a specific thing that kind of like represented them, right? Like
Yeah, like a
Mhm.
mark.
they're John Hancock or whatever, huh?
It's like a
It's either scribbles or like they print shit. Or they put their thumb, like they would cut their thumb.
Yeah.
All right.
And fingerprint.
He says Flint. What was the last name?
Flynn, not Flint. Is why
Flynn.
camp.
Sorry, can you say that again?
Why camp?
You know, his fucking voice there. He's changed
Alright.
this.
So he prints that out and he says, "Sign your name here."
Yeah, you got it.
Alright, he says, "Do you know where the Northern Militia muster fields are at?"
Yeah, I can find my way there.
Says, "Head there." He says, "We're
Yeah.
parting soon."
I
And
head
then,
out.
as you're about to leave, he says, "Alright, boys, round them up." And you see a press gang go into the tavern.
Yeah.
And basically, when the press gang they come in with like clubs and kind of like things to restrain people with, and you see them basically just go after the people that are like in the tavern, and they start like fighting back. One guy tries to like hit one of the press gangers with like a chair, but they're able to kind of like restrain him, and they just kind of like beat them with like their like sticks and shit. But if you stay around to kind of watch, the messenger's like, "Get out of here! You got your orders. Get. There's nothing to see here."
All right. Entertainment.
No, dude, you know what you fucking remind me of, dude? That voice. It just fucking
What?
hit. Fucking the men at arms in Stronghold.
Oh shit!
Wait, yeah, Dane, do your voice real quick.
This is me doing my voice real quick.
Reminds me of the fucking Mace Men.
Oh,
God damn.
The What is it?
Either look at men at arms, stronghold, or maceman stronghold.
I got it.
Stronghold 2, to be exact.
Oh, you're doing 2. I was thinking the first one.
Job's done.
Okay, I think either of them work.
Yeah. God damn. Fun game. Fun game.
Those are great lines. Oh.
Alright, so we got 3.
George! Smash 'em! Let's have 'em!
Alright,
I'm
Monty.
right behind you!
Yes.
You were at the local, college of what you said, Light.
Lord, like, technically they're like woodsy druids, but yeah.
It's a small, modest, modest college, as this town doesn't really support a lot of, magic type shit.
Sadly.
I think most of like the north is like the, I don't know, but it's like a modest little college, probably just like a 2-story building, and you're possibly in the library or doing kind of like your studies, and one of the teachers will kind of come up to you and he says, "Lout." He says, "Get your nose out of that book."
Yes, sir.
And then he says, read back, section, blah blah blah, in proverb, blah 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 blah. Basically just naming off, like, you know,
Magical bullshit.
yeah, magical bullshit.
Alright. I read it back to him. Section blah blah blah, chapter blah blah blah.
Good. He says, and basically he'll just do that for like another like 5 minutes, like you just reciting shit back to him, and like asking to recite shit, and then another wizard will kind of come up to you guys and he says, "Stop this nonsense." He says, "Lout has more important things to attend to." And
What's
mind, these are pretty pretty old dudes. These guys are like past their prime,
Understandable.
which is why they're up here in Nordland. They're not
Like in the
they're
capital.
not yeah, they're not what do you call it? Native to Nordland. They're like somewhere south, probably like in what is that? Reichland is like the central province, I think, or something.
Yeah.
So they're out of their prime. They don't get out much, and basically, really all they're worth is like the stupid amount of like knowledge that they are able to like remember.
Oh, wonderful.
And says, "Lout has more important things to worry about, like this." And he'll slam down a message for you.
Okay, I'll read through it.
Basically, it's like a summoning message, summoning you to the militia fields north of the city, and a
Right.
request of possible aid that you can grant in a military action, but doesn't say anything more than that. Says, "What does this say, Lout? I didn't read it. I didn't have. He says, my eyes went a little blurry for a second. I think I'm having a stroke."
please. Okay, do I do? Okay, I'm gonna look at heal check on this guy, which he's not dying on me. I think I'm gonna spend a fortune point on that.
Yeah, you don't have to. Just sorry.
Okay.
You going to bed?
Oh, yeah, hang on. I will like re-roll that.
Are you sure?
Okay, forget it then.
Alright. He's the other one's just like, stop your tomfoolery. Says, what does it say about?
It says, sir, that I am being requested to go to the militia fields north of the city to provide whatever aid I can.
The militia fields, he says.
Yes,
I've
sir.
seen you handle a broom. You can't even handle that. They want you to handle a sword.
Hopefully not, sir. I assume they just need someone who has some knowledge of magic in case they encounter something magic related.
Well, keep out of danger, he says. I have no idea what we would do if we lost you. We'd be bored out of our minds. He says, all of our... wasn't really a compliment, but if you want to take that as one, it's... Go ahead.
Right, sir?
The other one's just still, he's like, I still can't see. He says, what are you guys babbling on about?
I've been summoned to the militia fields to assist the local militia, sir.
And you see, he's just kind of like staring off into like nothing. And he's just totally like, was not paying attention. And you guys just kind of stand there like, they just kind of stand there awkwardly, kind of like just hovering around you.
Alright, well, if there is anything else, unless there is anything else you need, sirs, I will get my things ready and go and head out.
Yeah, they don't say anything and they're just kind of like standing there.
Okay, then I grab my shit, put in my grimoire, and like do my grimoire and all that good stuff, and I head to the field.
So as you're like walking out of the door, he's like, the guy that says he's like, that he couldn't see, he's like, what did Lout say? And then you just walk out.
Okay. So obviously I'm just gonna be... My rolls are a bit, you know, hiked up just a little bit so I don't drag them through their shit and vomit in the streets while I'm walking over there.
Yeah, Lout, actually, as you're walking... Oh, shit. As you're walking down the street, you see a small mob hovering around a store, and they're all kind of like banging on like the doors, and they have like pitchforks and that kind of stuff, like poking at the shop front and like trying to like barge in. They're like, we know you're in there.
Alright,
Says
I'm going
come out.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm just gonna walk kind of towards like the edge and ask what's going on.
Says, what's going on? What, do you live under a rock? Sir Rockenloggen's in there.
Sorry, say it again?
Sir Rockenlogger. The man that stole our food, our taxes, and used it for his whores, mead, and more whores and mead. He is one of the reasons we are in this predicament. We will string him up and give him the justice he deserves.
Okay.
And ensure that he does not go to Moore's Hall, as that piece of shit does not deserve it. And they're all like, blood. They're basically like, ah, blood, ah.
Right. Can I Okay, I'm gonna try to like talk these guys down from it just because like any wilder bullshit would probably bring down the militia on this place even harder.
Alright, what do you try to say?
I basically tried to tell them that like they should bring him in alive or the complaints, just because if they kill him, then when the Empire reconquers this place and like gets everything back under control, they will be hunting for whoever was involved in the murder of an official, which will go badly for everyone involved.
Alright, roll me a -30 charm.
Oh,
That was a -30?
yes, it was.
Okay. You see they start to kind of calm down a little bit, and they're like, murder, murder, it's just says, I will take your advice half-heartedly, there, stranger. He says, we will not make a spectacle of it, but we will ensure they do not know who did it.
Okay,
Come on,
talk.
boys.
So they're just walking away at this point?
Or do you want to like try to say something else?
I want to like talk him down from like straight up killing this guy again. Just like don't fucking kill him. Because again, if there's got to be a few witnesses, and more important, like killing him is probably a very bad idea. On the off chance that like it goes even worse for everyone involved.
Alright, roll me another charm.
Master it again.
-10. Ha!
Jesus. Back to there?
Yeah, I was just in the other room real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
They say, I suppose you're right. We will take this course of action for now.
Right, and like, okay. And I guess when they leave, I'm gonna try to like go up the door, see if I can talk to the guy and see if he's still in there.
Yeah, you knock on the door, and no one answers.
Alright. I am just, I actually want to get in there and see what the hell's going on. See if he's in. So I am going to cast, it's a normal lock, right?
Yep.
And I'm going to cast open lock on this thing.
Yep.
Jesus.
Are you wearing any armor too?
No.
Okay.
Skips. Alright, well, I'm not getting it open right now, so I'm just gonna say, like the guy who's up there, Sir, I'd honestly advise you to leave if you can, and try to make peace, like, try to provide them with something, so they don't get too angry at you. Maybe call in who you can, call in whatever favors you need to get some food and drink into the town, to help the people. Like, I'm just yelling that up at like the window.
Yeah, I'm just yeah, you say that, and there's no.
Alright, now I'm just going to start walking back to the militia. Or to the militia zone. Or like, militia grounds.
Alright. Sounds good. Alright. Ian, aka
Yes,
Isla
sir.
Fee. So you have been instructed by the, or you've been asked a favor by the around forest to investigate the whereabouts of Lord Kruger. Well, he's not Lord anymore.
Yeah.
But Kruger. They told you that they sent spies, elven spies, after him.
And none have returned.
Yeah. Well, they learned that he is trying to take a expedition back to the island. But it's more of him just kind of like, you know, they can't tell if he at first is just, you know, him just kind of just doing a fool's errand. Like, they don't know if he's actually capable of like doing it. Because at first it was just him, you know, kind of just like talking like madness and like shit. And then those rumors just kind of like spread, and then the elves kind of found out about it.
Yeah.
And then they located him in his last known location was Beckerhoven, and when they sent the spies to go confirm this and to see if he's an actual threat to the island, even though they don't want to go to the island, the Forest, like the elves there, they still don't want like humans going there and fucking with shit again.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing you like told them about it and
Oh, absolutely.
all that bullshit. So basically, they just want you to track him down, decide if he's a threat, and if so, take care of him as you see fit. And if he's not, then it's still up to you to decide. Like, it's fate.
Yeah.
But I guess in this instance, you'd be traveling from the Lorne Forest to Salismund.
Yep. Start there, try to gather some intel perhaps.
You end up making your way to the northern part of the town, outskirts of the town, where you see about like more than 100 men or so gathered around in a field that roughly represents like a training field.
Alright. Clearly they are. And they're all gathered around training field together. Are there any like officers of some sort on the outskirts just doing random instructing around?
So actually, I guess I will explain this more. So you have off in the field, they're kind of like separated into like kind of like groups. The largest groups seem to be your average kind of like citizen, just equipped with some sort of arms, like, you know, either sword, shield, even like what is the word? Farming tools, and I forget the term they use in the book. Fuck, what is the name? Basically, it's just like a random item that they would have picked up and used for like
Improvised
combat.
weapon?
Improvised weapons. So it's like a mix of that. They seem a little bit, well, they seem very disorganized. It seems like they have kind of like a leader who's trying to kind of gather and organize the militia, and then off on like maybe like 30 or 40 yards away is about 50 men, and these people are actually uniformed from working with state troops of Northern State troops before. You can automatically kind of just assume they're not state troops. They're maybe some sort of like mercenary band of some sort. They have the Nordland colors. I think it's the blue and the the yellow, but they kind of have like checkered pattern along their uniform, and a lot of them have kind of like a horned goat as their sigil.
Interesting.
Kind of like on their banners and on their shields, and some on like their chests, and you can tell like the officers and like the sergeants, because they're standing out in front of the company of 50 men, kind of like inspecting them and being like very professional, and they just like look like more like
career soldiers.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then off, coming from the path, from Salesman, you see 10 soldiers making their way up to the field. And you happen, with your elven eyesight, recognize one of them.
Is it Frederick?
And that person is Frederick.
Yeah. Okay. How the hell?
I'm just gonna add everyone at the same time. So, behind them, let's just say, so Frederick, your group shows up. Hartwin, you show up after that. And then Monty, and then Danny. So you all kind of show up at like very small gaps of time to the militia field.
Oh. First, do I recognize, like,
Yeah, I mean, once you guys kind of like look around, well, I think Nyla, you're probably still off in the forest road or something.
Yeah, I'll just be observing.
Yeah, like
seeing smaller faces.
The others, you guys probably like once you kind of like get your bearings and start to look around, gauge the situation, start to kind of pick each other out as like, a person looks very familiar.
Alright, first things first, I'm gonna walk up to Hartwin, or who I think is Hartwin. I'm assuming. Hello, Hartwin? That you?
No, I'll actually dismount, go over, and actually give you a full-on hug. It's great seeing you.
Oh, same with you. Look at you moved up.
I can see you have as well. No longer living in the forest, I see.
No. Apparently the island, wherever the island did, my teacher told me that whatever the island did may have brought this on. That's one of the theories. But you, how have you been? It's been 5 years, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been far too long. I only recently got summoned back to Salzman myself. I've been, pursuing different interests and, keeping life a little more exciting, even though I had to call in a few favors for some special equipment.
That sounds fantastic. On my end, well, after a little journey, I went around helping a few villages and got some druids. Apparently, I have the talent for magic. Shows me as well. I've been training for the past few years. So, have you heard from anyone else?
Well, I haven't seen anyone else, but I could see Frederick over there with his new regiment.
Oh. He has men under his command now?
Yes, I was pretty surprised myself when I read it on the roster.
Well, I guess that leaves Nalafi, because I know Hess and Rika, thankfully, are not involved in this.
Yes. I would suspect that they would definitely have stayed retired, maybe even moved out of the countryside for now.
Well, I've had a few correspondences with Hess. They've gone a few steps past that. Last I heard, Rika opened up her shop, and their parents, I think it was 2 girls and a boy?
That's great.
Yeah, it is. I think it said has a little bit of money for some baby clothes and all that. Hopefully, there's a gift since I'm fairly certain Rika wouldn't let me say hi to children.
It's a little understandable after the expedition. Things were rather hairy.
Absolutely. Still, hope they do well. Well, I suppose it's time we go walk up and speak to Frederick. I feel like it's not going to be pleasant.
I will definitely wait until there's a moment where he's probably not yelling at his troops to get in order.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's up to Frederick what he does now.
Yeah, you probably are going to be seeing him like yelling. Well, not even yelling. It's mainly just monotone criticism. It's like, Joseph, you drop that shield next time you die. Remember that on the battlefield. Why? Why me?
Every time.
Why, man? What did I do to you?
Nothing personal.
Nothing personnel,
I
kid.
gotta go when I gotta go.
Every goddamn time.
But when you're when you're like yelling at them, you're obviously, they kind of get in that like, oh shit kind of look on their faces, and you can tell that you're like, they're intimidated by you, because they've all heard like, stories, not of like the expedition, as not a lot of people know about that, but about your time
The man
in
who
the
lost
north.
every squad.
Yeah, the man in the when you went north and like conquered or not conquered, but you helped fight off some Northmen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they were asking about stories for those? Tom?
No, you can just tell that like, those types of, with
Sounds
your,
like-
just your personality, and like how you're like yelling at them right now, or you're like being monotone with them, is like intimidating to them.
I didn't do nothing to him. But yeah, I guess after a while I'll just notice you guys approaching out of peripheral. Alright. Make sure that everything's set up. We want to be sure that we get proper training before we actually have to move on.
One of them who goes by the name of
The tough.
No. We're not. As much as I want it, we can't. You want these guys to be destined to die again?
My dick.
God, these names are just so.
But the
Alright.
Medic!
Manfred. I'm just gonna call him Manfred, because I can't pronounce that last name.
The Manfred.
Manfred, who seems like to be one of the most capable out of the 8, will kind of take charge as you kind of like do what you're about to do.
Okay. I'm just gonna spin around, look at the others. Hot one. Loud. He's like looking confused when he sees Loud.
I'll just put a hand up. Interesting events.
Indeed.
Nonetheless, it's good to see that you're still breathing, and from what I heard a little bit there, making an even more legendary name for yourself.
I just do as I'm commanded. It's up to them whether they give me an award for it or not. But you're alive. Still short.
Still furious as ever.
Good. I'll need it. As you can see, those back there. I've been missing someone I can rely to have at my back.
Yes, this headlong excursion to find these bandits and root them out, wherever their keep may be, is a task that seems a little hefty, but I think we might be able to get the trade roads going again, be able to recover those supplies, possibly.
Understandable. Well, try not to die. Oh, his headphones are shit. Well, I say that and I get no response, so I'm assuming he got the message. That's all I care about.
Danny, when you finally get to the fields, you see everything that I described before, but you see three men, kind of standing, kind of like near like the center of like the three groups, I guess. And they definitely look, more official, or at least like, yeah, they look more official than I'd say like the militia people and, I guess the company and the state troops look pretty official too. But I guess they would just like stand out just because, one obviously looks like a knight, one kind of looks like a wizard of some sort, I guess. And the one, I don't know if you wear your like decoration on your uniform, but
He has an air of authority to him.
yeah, they basically have like, well, at least 2 out of 3 have an air of authority over you.
I would approach these gentlemen.
So when you approach them, what do they see?
They see a young man who looks like he is wearing what was at one point some fairly well-off clothes, but they're a little dirtied and a little old, and he's wearing armor on top of them. And he's got a sword, a rapier on his back, and a foil at his waist. Hello. I just signed up. I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go. Name's Flynn.
Welcome to the regiments, Flint. This is Hartwin Dassler.
Oh, well. Well met, Hartwin. Sir Hartwin, apologies. Frederick, nice to meet you. And,
Andrew Lout. Wizard's
Oh.
Apprentice.
Lout. Alright. Cool. So what are we doing? I didn't get much of a pitch. It was just sort of, oi, come sign up, or we're gonna beat the shit out of you.
We're bringing peace back to the land a little bit more, especially here, further back Hoven. Looking to open up the trade roads again and start getting food flowing back in before more chaos ensues. Unfortunately, we got wind that a rather annoying bandit group has procured some of those supplies over other times. It's been leading up to more chaos. We're trying to retrieve them. As for now, we're setting up regiments and getting a better idea of where to root them out.
Alright, well that sounds nice and concise. Baccaroven, eh? He just kind of just shrugs after that.
I love this character.
So how about yourself, my good man? It looks like You seem to have had some wealth in your past.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, times being as they are. It's been a little rough for me and my friends, people in my business. I was a professional duelist for about a year there. That's when all the troubles started. Well, wasn't too bad at first, you know, nobles always got their fucking little spats they got with each other. They always need somebody to fight for them. you know how nobles are. They can't swing a punch. Take a stab in the gut like a man, most of them, eh?
I'll fall down crying before I even know that anything happened.
Oh, of course, you breathe on them a little too hard and they're done. But, you know, what with all the rioting and the disease in the streets and all that, yeah, all the nobles left and I ran a bit dry of me funds, if you understand. So...
Don't worry not, your skills will definitely be put to very good use here.
Oh, well, it's always good to be appreciated.
Nonetheless, I should attempt to start getting a wrangle here. I need to figure out how many regiments I have and see if we can't start setting up some better training sections and get a few scouts to keep the area safe.
Of course.
I'll be sure to catch the rest of you gentlemen later.
So, while this is going on, does Nylafi... What is Nylafi doing? Is she, like, just still observing?
So when I see Harwin start peeling off, I will... Is there a way for me to stealthily approach him without drawing too much attention? It's kind of like in the middle of the ground.
Yeah, so it's like...
Imagine there's a big open field with a bunch of people trained.
Yeah, so basically there's just like a big ass open field. There's like, so here's like... Ah, shit. This green box is like... what the fuck? The double fuck.
I think it just say the double fuck.
I guess that blue box is just there, or that green box.
It might be
I
on the
guess it's just
token
there
level.
Nah, it's on tried every level. Oh, so there's like the green is gonna be like the town. This is gonna be like the road leading out of the town. Here's gonna be the training field, and then you have like the forest, like this kind of.
I think you're on GM layer.
Oh, God damn it!
There we are.
Just one of those days.
So you have the town with the road, and then you have the field, basically, where everyone's at, kind of centralized, and then you have like the forest. So there's like probably like at least like 200 yards from where everyone's at to the forest line.
Yeah, we have to be boring. Probably keep observing for now until there's a moment to approach Heartwind without drawing a shot of attention. Unfortunately.
Yes, because it's hard to do that as a 6-foot woman.
6'7", actually. Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
I'm only counting legs, man.
Also, why does your character look like Ryan Gosling? Or where the fuck his name is?
You know, that was just... I found like a collection of tokens, and that was the one that just seemed to fit the best.
That's so fucking handsome.
Yeah.
See, the voice doesn't match the face. That's all I'm gonna say.
Obviously not.
It's part of his strategy. That's how he throws off his opponents.
This man must be very clever. Look at that face.
Look at
Hello.
him, so beautiful. He must be intelligent. Hello. I'm gonna stab you in the face now.
See, I like blueberry pies.
You're like, what's up, Blueberry?
Hot
Blueberry.
damn. That's confused with Marbury.
Don't you ever talk about the guy's name in vain ever again.
Love mulberries.
The Lord's name in vain.
I don't want to hear shit. Marbury was the greatest NPC. And win the Hall of Fame, goddammit.
Hall of Fame. His face with a plaque of Marbury just says he lived.
I mean, that's an accomplishment for the people we run
yeah,
with.
that's how you get into that.
Exactly.
You just be the last one standing.
I mean, he was lucky. And he always was. Just one step away from danger. Until a ghoul spritzed him with some sticky jizz and he got a rash.
So what does so what do you guys do now?
My orders are to march when they say march. So I am mainly just drilling my soldiers so that they don't die immediately when we get there.
I'm gonna take a look at the town again from the. Okay, how far from the town are we right now, basically?
Beckerhoven?
Yeah.
Or about
How
a day's
far?
journey.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna look around. I mean, if we're in the woods, I'm just gonna look around and see if there's any weird things going on with like the winter magic.
You have second sight now?
Yes, I do.
Roll me a perception check.
Just checking. Magic man.
Magic man.
Oh, you don't see a goddamn thing. You want fortunate?
Nah. See it for now.
Yeah, you don't see anything out of it.
Oh, and just make sure we're basically in the woods or in a rural area right now, right? Technically.
Kinda, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
A lot of it's so you're in kind of like the open part, so you're in like the cleared out a lot of the surrounding forestry or forest.
Okay.
But once you get past like that, like the militia ground and a couple of and maybe like industrial buildings or like stables or something of that sort, just those kinds of buildings. And you go along the main road, then you're in the forest.
Awesome.
That's basically how it is to like go to every like traveling from like city to city. You have to take well, most people take the main road, but even the main road is like in like heavy forested area.
Okay. Perfect. Just want to make sure, because like for my lower life, I get like +10 on casting and language and like magic language checks if I'm in the woods.
Nice.
Very.
I think I would be working with some of the other regiment captains, seeing who's the better scouts and setting up a perimeter, trying to scout ahead and plan out a route to check out the spots that they initially ambushed any carts and try and check the forests from there on out. Make sure that when we move camp, we're able to set down in time and set up with a proper perimeter so there's no ambushes in the middle of the night with so many newbies.
Okay. So you're setting camp outside of Soulsman?
Yes.
Okay. So you come across Bergner Kroll. Who is the militia captain. You basically just kind of get that these guys are really kind of incompetent.
Figured as much.
They're militia, so they're like, you know, their main job is just, you know, whatever their original trait is. They're not like fighters or anything. They're basically just bodies. They don't really have any exceptional, like martial skill, but there are a couple of hunters within the group. You have the mercenary company, the captain of the mercenary company is Captain Herman. Mostly his troops are swordsmen. But they're professional soldiers, and they're known for, you know, helping out the state army in certain conflicts, and they were even a part of the
Expedition?
not expedition, the battles in the north against the Northmen.
Excellent. Alrighty. Definitely speak with Bergner Kroll, just trying to get him to set up with one or two other troop units to scout out the forest, and that way we can keep the at least skilled hunters safe while the others learn a little bit. And then we also have a small combat regiment that can help fight if they run into anything out there, and then still be able to report back in time.
Okay. Yeah, they will. Werner Quo will take the orders, and then he will report to his company, and you will see the said troops and scouts start to disperse from the camp that was set up, and they will return when they have any news to give you.
Excellent. After that, I'm going to probably try and work with a few other regiment troops, the ones that are a little more trained, that are probably still behind. Try and set up a, semi-training circle ground where they can get, like, probably 2 trained soldiers to help out train the peasantry, so even with the improvised weapons they have, they can at least strike lethally with them instead of just breaking it on armor that we might run into with these guys.
Okay, yeah, they set up a little training ground, and they will start barring these peasantry. I mean, they do god awful, but you know, some of them do pick up some little tips and stuff like that.
Yeah, just want to make sure they can at least strike the enemy lethally, or at least guard themselves well enough for others to back them up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll definitely be doing that throughout the day.
Alrighty. And then lastly, if there's any others, because I would imagine the few other peasantry that don't really want to be here, just making sure that they are running fresh water and other such things to the camp, and then just double checking supplies on what little food there might be and what we can ration out reasonably within the even though it's not strictly on a time frame, running mentally on a little bit more of a tighter time frame, because keeping this many soldiers in a time of chaos would be a very fool's errand to think I could stretch the time out too much.
Yeah, you definitely think you have at least 5 days worth of food for this large of army.
So I could probably
that's kind of how crucial the these supplies and food from the town.
Alrighty. So.
But yeah, they basically they definitely have the guys that were ganged doing the kind of like hard labor and stuff, being like the mules, so to speak.
It works. So, obviously, just taking my time. Not too much time, but kind of like focusing on getting things orderly. Using this first day, or maybe even half before. Having a kind of a brief setup, be able to break down at morning. And basically just have everything at set points and plans for these people. So that even if chaos does break out, they at least have a spot they know or a group they know to break down to get proper orders or follow along with. And obviously trying to keep with the 5-day span so we'd be able to push out probably in the morning to start combing the forest for wherever this keep may be.
Oh, the keep's at Beckerhoven, or like the fort or whatever.
Yeah. Of finding out for these bandits and such.
Alright, anyone else?
Yeah, as the scouts start moving and go, I guess, head over to approach Hartwin. I will roll a stealth, because YOLO. Figure it's something I should do at this point. That was
Okay. Yeah, you're able to get past the standing guard pretty easily.
oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, they rolled at 86.
Jesus Christ.
He's getting used to the new skull cap, like the little leather straps are like batting him in the eyes when he turns too fast. Like, dumbass, I told you to tie that under your chin. It's going to keep happening, you're going to get you killed.
How Frederick of you.
Alright, so yeah, I guess Hartwin, make me a perception check.
Hey. Don't worry. Even with my helmet, it's still a fucking atrocious 10.
You can always roll super well.
That's not gonna happen. Oh! You want to fortune that?
Nope.
Alright, so you're able to sneak up on Hartwin.
Times like these, you could have some fun, but I can't think of anything enjoyable. I was like tap on the shoulder.
Sure about
Turn around
I'll
and
let that happen.
startled. Huh! Now, Leffrey, is that you?
Yes, things have changed over 5 years. But more importantly, do you know where Lord Stalker is? Or not, fuck, god damn it. Wrong name.
Kruger.
Have you heard anything about Lord Kruger? Aside from going mad. And do you know anything about Beekerhoven?
Oh, currently Beckerhoven's suffering lack of food and supply, but that's mostly due to some bandits that are trying to seek out. If you do aid us, it would probably help speed up the matters and make everything a little more civilized if you're still looking for him. Kruger is definitely a non to me. I've only recently gotten back on my journey.
Right. We can talk about that journey some other time, of course. But for now, I have vested interest in this cause. Now, I'm joining you for now. Glad to see you're still alive, and Frederick and Lot as well, somewhat.
Yes, Lot is a official wizard now.
Interesting. Oh, more importantly though, if you spot a dire wolf wandering the forest, it's been following me for some time now. Try not to kill it, please.
Duly noted. I'll be sure to let my scouting parties know. Well, I'm not entirely sure what you have matters of interest with Kruger, but after what happened, wouldn't very surprise me in the inkling.
Yeah. Anyway, I have a camp set up in the tree line. A little ways away. If you need me for anything specific.
I'll be sure to let the others who do patrol the perimeter not to bother you, and that you're an ally.
Wonderful. And tell Frederick I said hi, I suppose. Or some greeting of some sort.
I will, but he, unfortunately still seems rather cold as when we left.
Anything eventful happened to him? Beyond already losing his father and his former comrades during the Beastman incursion?
As far as what I could skim when I was coming to greet him, the troops whispering about his combats with the Norsemen. Well, has his own regiment as well. Has become quite the accomplished soldier.
Yeah, good for him.
Should go over and say hello to him sometime. I don't know if I'll be able to cheer him up, but maybe your years of wisdom might provide something better than a young knight's words.
If we're being honest, Harwin, I think my years of wisdom have successfully lowered his opinion of myself, but perhaps I'll visit him.
Never know. Nonetheless, it's good to see you're safe, and even on the odd matter of the direwolf.
Likewise, Harwin. How's knighthood treating you?
Well, I had to... As he kind of looks around a little bit, make sure no one else is listening to this. I respectfully declined from the White Lions. The order, not entirely for my own, but also marrying off to the lady's hand that was offered to me. The time did not seem right. I feel that I still must do more as a knight before settling down. And besides, how can I live an exciting life and go out to fight more creatures? I still need to get more trophies. Besides,
after everything you've witnessed on the expedition, you want to fight more things.
If I didn't, I wouldn't keep this thing around, and I'll hold up the rock troll claw. I see it hasn't stopped you either.
I still have the teeth from the one I shot 3 times in the head. Or was it 4? I can hardly remember that. Count it.
I think it was...
I wonder how those lizard people are doing. They're probably dead by now.
Most likely, if that's what they have to contend with all the time. Nonetheless, if I do succeed in this endeavor, especially after which I will probably be joining with the Order of the Panthers, maybe the Broken Sword. Nonetheless, it would probably give even easier way to me getting wind of where Kruger might be.
Indeed. Though why the Panthers are Broken Sword and not the White Lions?
Well, I know the White Lions are much more renowned, but I feel I may have not earned that notoriety in a way.
I disagree on that after witnessing things that I doubt any other Mayflies have really seen. From the rat people, the lizard people, giant wyverns that get corrupted by something.
Mythical tales back here in the homeland. I do enjoy the excitement, though. As terrifying as it was.
I can somewhat understand that.
It's partially why I couldn't take the lady's hand. It would be too cruel a fate. Someone with a wild heart still, who's not very eager to sit still.
Well, Wildheart, I'll leave you here. And I suppose I'll go visit Frederick and Lot and them, if they're all in the same area.
Well, they're still here. Frederick is giving his soldiers the good run around. I'll meet back with you later then.
Sure. And now if you will head out. Still probably sneaking. Yeah, fuck it, I'm rolling. Yeah.
Damn.
Now I'm just gonna stalk Frederick. This is gonna be a wonderful time.
Vanishes and just appears, and all you hear is that it's a huge mess.
I'm just instructing my men the properties of teamwork as I'm fighting them in pairs of 2.
Big baller.
So far, they haven't won yet. I'm very sad and disappointed.
Is there like any supplies nearby, like alcohol I can find? Or is that like a rare commodity?
Alcohol at this point in time? Oh yeah, that's fucking rare, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why like a lot of probably a lot of soldiers don't know what the fuck to do with themselves right now.
yeah.
I still got my fucking last full. Because it's from the island. I haven't drunk it in 5 years.
Finally drinks it down the road and dies from a fucking venereal disease.
But yeah, while you're dueling your boys 2 at a time, I will wait until that's wrapped up.
Hang on, you're not
Yeah.
speeding past that. Rephrase that, sir.
Well, while you're dueling your boys 2 at a time, what's wrong with that?
Rephrase this, sir.
While you fight 2 of your boys in honorable, glorious combat. Is that better?
Cockbat sounds better, but sure. Let's go ahead.
God. You'll hear someone who sounds vaguely like Nalafi say, "Sergeant, do you have a moment?" From a nearby bush or some shit. Or tree, I don't fucking know. Some hiding spot of some note. Do with that what you will.
Don't worry about it. I am. You see a dagger fly wide inside the bush.
It appears you hit the wrong bush, Sergeant. There are several in this forest.
Would you like to come out?
Yeah, sure, fine. Now if he steps out in like full fucking armor and shit. With the guild cloak. Yeah.
Nice to see you again.
Likewise, I already talked to Heartwind. Let him know I'm here. I'll be accompanying you all with the stuff going down.
To make sure you stick to either him or me. Remember, people still don't like elves.
Why do you think I was sneaking around earlier?
Just make sure you don't get caught unawares.
Yes, it'd be a shame to lose more of your men, right?
They always die sooner or later.
Well, that's not very humorous and morbid. I take it's more treasure has come your way.
I got a medal. And a few more people to bury up north. That happens.
I suppose it does. Would you like to talk about it at all?
What is there to talk about? They're dead.
I'll at least catch up on 5 years. You seem about the same.
I don't know how else to be anyone other than Frederick, so I guess so.
Right. So, here's a question, Frederick. How was the plague?
I didn't catch it.
Wonderful. Neither did I after I left.
I hope not. They probably wouldn't have let you back in if you did.
Implying they would find me.
I meant your people.
Hmm?
I said I meant your people.
Yeah, I suppose. But what caused the riots? That's what I'm stuck on.
What didn't cause the riots? Banks failing, nobles getting more and more conservative, famine, disease, everything you could name that could have gone wrong. Did it go wrong? War especially didn't help. Usually it unites us, but with more and more supplies going towards the military, it just served to rile up the peasantry even more. I've had to kill more than a fair share of people that think that rioting and stringing up nobles is the way to fix it.
And I guess the other peasants were conscripted, judging by these
Naturally.
less than adequately trained soldiers. Yeah.
Who wants to fight in the Lord's War if you didn't sign up before now?
I mean, I imagine it'd be a good meal ticket.
You're assuming they're getting paid.
But at least are they getting food?
You're assuming that as well.
How are your food stocks looking exactly?
Horrible.
Right.
Sooner or later, most of our actual food stores are going to go to the nobles and the men that know how to halfway decently wield a blade and not stick themselves in their dick.
Yeah, and desertion might increase as well if they can't get any food for their service.
The barons
Which
might see more
could...
recruits.
Yes, but if some desert they can go bandit, then we have more bandits in the area, which would make things even worse, and just a cycle at that point.
That's not my job to fix. My job is to put down whoever the state decides needs to be.
Fair, I suppose, but you don't consider the future at all anymore?
The future is the seconds ticking by in my mind. I don't think much about tomorrow because I might never see it.
Frederick, you are as chipper and optimistic as I remember.
I'm glad I can give you some sort of comfort. the things that didn't change.
Speaking of things that didn't change, Lot seems to have changed a bit, right? Was he
So
scholar now or something?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I was wondering why he was on the battlefield anyway. He hasn't had a good history of fighting.
No, he has not. Remember back when we were fighting the Beastmen? Well, oh, and there was Silas as well, and he hid underneath the cot. Lot got stabbed and went under with him. Then I killed a lot of Beastmen and I was happy. Good times.
Why'd you bring up the Beastman?
What was wrong with bringing Beastmen?
No, that was Travis had a kid.
Oh.
He just activated that man's PTSD.
Wait, what's
Most
your
of my guys started dying.
You fought fucking Nordlanders, right? Up the fucking, like, Chaos Barbarian dude?
Well, remember in the beginning of the game, all of his
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Beast-
that!
friends.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that. So all my guys started fucking dying against the damn Beastman.
I feel really fucking stupid for asking this, but I cannot remember.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember what you
Never
got.
mind, I got it.
You sure?
Damn it, now we'll never know.
I don't know if I got it sooner or later.
One day.
Okay, so that's what's going on. Flynn and Lout. What are you guys doing?
I guess I'm gonna walk to the camp, see if anyone looks, has like needs any medical attention before we like really get going, so they don't fall over on the way there.
No, everyone seems pretty healthy. No one seems to be injured or have
For now.
the illness.
Itis.
The itis.
Oh boy. I guess after that, I am going to check the woods, see if there's anything going on there. Like, I guess, see if there's anything unusual in the woods. Again, before we leave, just in case.
Okay. Sure. Like how far are you going into the woods?
Maybe like 20, 30 feet. Just quick, like it's basically like a bit of a quick scan.
Okay. Make me a perception check.
Alright, don't see jack shit apparently. Get after that. Gotta see if there are any plants I can pick. What? Medicinal stuff. Actual medicinal, not smokables. For now, anyway.
Okay. So it's what does that take? I don't remember. 2 hours, right, or something?
Yeah. Like lower herbs. That's good. Oh, fuck.
Not sure. Yeah, you find enough to basically give you a +10 to heal checks for about I gotta look. We'll say like 5 patients or something.
Okay. I guess after that, 2 hours after that, I'm just gonna wander back into camp.
As night finally kind of like sets, Flynn, what are you doing?
Oh, passing time, making sure all my shit's squared away. Not too much of anything, honestly.
As you're kind of like sitting around, unless you have like a. Most of the people are like they don't like have tents; they're just kind of sleeping out, outside, kind of like near like the fire and stuff. You see that it kind of starts to snow. And you just see kind of like small little like flakes, kind of like the fire. And then like someone kind of sits down, and it looks like they're kind of like heating something up, as they're kind of like sitting on like a little like barrel or something. It says, oh, this fucking snow. Fucking need. Fuck. And yeah, he looks like he's like like basically like one of the militiamen.
I go join him by the fire. Yeah, I hear that. This fucking snow's ridiculous. Oh, what you got there?
He's kind of like, you know, like kind of trying to be secretive about it. What are you talking about?
Oh, well, you know, don't worry about it. I won't tell nobody. But you know, I can see you've got something there. Just curious is all. Name's Flynn, by the way.
Name's Hilga.
Hilva.
Hilga. Yeah, that's how my mom used to say it.
Hilga. All right.
Because he always plays the sketchy people.
I mean, yeah, birds of a feather. Well, Rika's not sketchy.
Oh,
Rika wasn't sketchy.
it's true.
She was. In her practices.
She had the potential to be sketchy.
Oh, yeah, Jesus Christ.
And he kind of like, it's just a cup of Joe. Nothing crazy.
Man, I can't remember the last time I had that. Where'd you get that from, eh? Did you have like your own secret stash, or you got a guy?
Says, why are you asking so many questions? If you just want some, ask.
I mean, yeah, could I get some?
Yeah. He just kind of like grumbles and he like gives you some. It's like, not too much, just a sip. Just a sip last time. I offered someone a sip of my Joe, they took a gulp and I took 2 teeth.
Oh, well, I like my teeth, so I'll just have myself a little sip. Thank you kindly.
There.
Never do the noise again, Dan. I don't want that in my
I said just a...
Oh no, don't worry. I'm just savouring the flavour, you know. You gotta sip it with a little bit of air in there. You gotta aerate it a little bit in your mouth. It makes it taste so much better. Trust me.
He says, friend, are you all there?
What? Of course I am. Why wouldn't I be?
I don't know, there's something about you. Can't put my finger on it.
What, is it the voice? Huh? Is it how I sound?
No, it's the way you slurp. You gotta drink your cup of Joe like a man. Like this. And then he just like takes like a big like gulp. He's like, oh fuck, why'd you make me drink all of it like that?
I didn't make nothing. You did that on your own.
Fucking. This is some fucking shit show. He says, wait. Don't I know you?
Oh, I doubt it.
Oh, no, I swear I've seen you before.
Oh, I mean, judging from the look of yous, I don't think we swim in the same circles.
No, but I remember it's about a year ago.
Yeah.
Didn't you duel someone out in the streets?
I've dueled a lot of people. You got any specifics?
He'll kind of like describe what the other guy kind of looked like. Kind of say how he's kind of like he kind of looked like he was a prissy nobleman kind of. And he says, I swear I heard the kind of slow voice that's coming out of your mouth, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Pretty good. Got to hand it to you.
Thanks. I do take pride in my work.
Well, I'll keep this secret between me and you. You know how the people are nowadays. They don't necessarily like your type.
Oh. Well, I've dealt with that my whole life. I appreciate it, though.
Just a good gesture between two friends that shared a cup of joe.
Exactly.
Alright, well, I gotta go take a shit.
Oh, well. Have fun with that, I guess.
Kind of gets up. And yeah. So throughout the night, Heartwind, you are awakened by some scouts, and they say that they believe the forest on the way to Beckerho clear.
Alrighty.
And then they still have people at Beckerhoven kind of assessing the situation from with like the town itself and the fort and stuff.
Alrighty. Move out during the day. Try and move into a spot where we won't be too noticeable, but definitely not cause for alarm.
Yeah, you guys, I guess, go back to bed, and throughout the night, a couple times you get a majestic howling.
Oh my god.
That goes on and off. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Oh yeah, when I hit the hay in my little campsite somewhere, do a bit of hunting, or cheeky hunting. Use my talent Hunter's Eye to get food automatically for myself and one other, which will be the Darrow if I just leave some meat out for the damn thing. A good, 20 yards away or some shit, I don't know. That make any sense?
Yeah.
Sorry, God, it's me.
He'll definitely, like when you're sleeping or something, that's probably when he comes up and snags it, and then kind of disappears into the forest.
Gotcha. Alright, that's it for me.
But yeah, morning will dawn, or morning will come, and
It works either way.
so what do you guys do? Said you start heading towards Becker.
Definitely get everyone set, ready. Make sure we have scouts set ahead of us just a bit. And yeah, start making our way to Beckerhoven.
Okay, yeah, it's about a day's journey. Day's journey there. And it's pretty uneventful. but they kind of bring you. The scouts kind of bring you to a position they scouted out that seems to be fairly and not that far like away from the town.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and they'll set up like a perimeter and send out more scouts and things like.
Keep things rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, was there any assessments from the scouts of the township itself? It seemed like there's probably someone in charge of the keep.
So they say that the town itself seems to only have a couple of it's like a small town anyways. Only a few residents that that live there, that are still living there, and they say that the fort itself is about a mile north on top of a hill from Beckerhoven. And they say they haven't been able to see what's inside the fort, but they say that they have seen banners of what seems to be another that sigil is basically a bear biting into a deer neck.
Would I possibly know if this is purely mercenary or maybe another noble house?
Would Lord Reichland work?
I do know lore heraldry.
Roll me a lore heraldry.
Gotcha.
Oof, I will fortune that.
The bear dick returns.
Yeah. Not a fumbling failure.
Yeah, you're not sure. Neither you're not sure that it is a Lord sigil or not. But it's definitely not a what do you call it? A state troop company, as they would be flying the
someone on their own.
Yeah.
Flying the Imperial colors, Willie.
Yeah. So yeah, they'd be flying like the Empire. They're doing neither of those. And they also say that they seem to be. Oh, I'm downplaying that a lot, but they are pretty well armed. They seem to have like a peasant, force that's kind of camped outside of the fort. And then from what they can see on top of the fort is like the flags and the sigils and the troops that look very professional. They have 2 scorpions on the wall, along with a Gatling cannon.
Ooh,
Or Gatling gun.
Jesus Christ.
Nice.
Alrighty. Well, I'll gather some people up and see who's willing to go with me to try and parlay with these people. Clearly, they're well organized, and even if it is in the interest of money, they still have people to feed. So,
It's on you who you pick, sir.
I'll try and gather the group.
Gotcha.
Gather up the group, maybe an extra regiment just in case.
Like a squad or?
Yeah, just a squad. Just obviously to.
So you just want to take Hartwin's squad or what? Or not Hartwin. Fucking
Fredericks, yeah.
Also, as you guys are about to leave, you hear a commotion at the edge of camp. You see a man that is in a cart, being pulled by a mule. And that man is Mawberry.
Yes?
Hess. See, that's why I was. You guys kept saying Marbury, and I was like, I got stuck in my fucking head, and I was like,
We found it out, gentlemen. We
I was like,
got
who the
the
fuck?
secret formula.
I was like, who the fuck was in? Like, who the fuck was the character in this game? I couldn't fucking remember. Even though I fucking played him every fucking weekend.
Fucking Hess
That's right,
rolls
Marbury.
I'd be
Marbury
down
was
for
from
Marbury
Only
showing
Warrior.
up, 'cause, like,
Yeah.
the most advanced
Hess.
weaponry on the planet belongs to friggin' Marbury.
Hess shows up.
What?
Does he look okay?
Yeah, I mean he's he has like he has a cart with like a couple of supplies, and stuff, and he's in kind of like really fine like clothing with some like leather like a leather breastplate on that he's wearing.
I mean, I see this, I'm gonna run up and like hug my boy Hess.
He says, "Lout, give me a hug."
What are you doing here?
Says, "Well, I heard they were scrambling for help, and well, I was eventually able to sneak out of the house without Rika noticing."
Hess, are you serious? You have a wife and family. You need to go back home.
So does he. I'm sure most of these men do.
Yes, well,
Says-
as talented as it sounds, I'm not friends with most of these men.
As well, I've set out on my fair share of wars. It says I think it's time to do my part.
You set out for a reason. I said the island was enough excuse for anyone to retire.
Don't put yourself there, soldier. Or should I say civilian now?
He'll look over at Frederick. And he says, "Frederick, I've missed that ugly mug."
Most people do. That's why they always come back.
And he'll go over and try to give you a hug.
He'll accept it.
He says, he says, it's been some time. He says, well, I not only come bearing the gift of myself, I also have rations and some more supplies that I was able to scrounge up before I left.
Good. Well, we
And,
needed them.
Basically adds 2 more days of rations for
Nice.
the army.
How did you
Good
even
to
get
have you
all
along.
this together?
Says, in my line of work, you learn a thing or two.
Yes, you're a merchant, aren't you?
Says, you haven't been to the house yet, have you?
No, I have not, and in all honesty, as much as I would love to see you and possibly greet the children, I'm fairly certain Rika would try to kill me.
She's working during the day. After we're done with this business, sneak you.
God, Hess.
Well, right now, since I've been called on to active duty, we'll catch up later.
Yes.
I'm going with you, of course.
You're what?
Yes.
Just going with you. I've made up my mind.
I'm gonna
I'm
grab his arm and
I'm
just gonna
going to
like
go back
roll down his sleeve since I know that's where he got damaged last time. You sure you can fight with that?
Says, yes, he says, it's been 5 years. It's healed good enough. I've even had the opportunity to pay someone to teach me better than any drill I've had to go through.
Fine. If you want to fight, well, I think I'm the last man in this world to say I can stop you.
That's the spirit, old friends.
Damn it,
Just-
you are not dying.
Ah,
Do your best.
says I would do no such thing to you.
Fine, can we agree on something then? You're staying next to me. I need someone to watch my back, and I feel safer if you're right next to me. I can blast whatever gets close.
Says I'll try.
Is that leather like breastplate only you can get?
He says I don't typically care for anything heavier. It does kind of hurt my back.
Alright, understandable, but I still remember your face nearly getting crushed by the wyvern's tail, so as soon as we can, we're getting you a helmet.
Those are tales that are not worth.
Yes? No, we're getting you a helmet. There is no discussion of this. If I have to strap it onto your head myself, I will.
Look, I did not come here to be babysit. I came here to do my due. Or to pay my
Can't do it
dues.
dead. Right. I think you just trying to tell him you can't do that if you're dead. And more importantly, you have to go back home. You have people to go back home to, which is why you're getting a helmet.
I'm just gonna put Law in like a headlock. He's a man. Let him do as he wants. He wants to fight. Then we're the last people to tell him not to.
Says yes. Stop bothering me about this until I sick Rika on you.
God, fine. But if you get injured in the head, I am going to be rubbing it in the entire time while I'm bandaging you up.
Worry about your own head. After all, you're still a shit fighter.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not going to be anywhere near the front.
How wrong you are.
Possibly. Now, will you please let me go?
I'll think about it. And while he's thinking, he's dragging you along away from Hess.
Alright, what is it? I'm just asking. So, how much is a good steel helmet?
Steel? You mean plate?
If you're looking towards a good steel helmet, that's usually going to run you probably around a good gold crown or two.
Alright then. Next time we're in, I'm going to grab them for...
Alright,
Oh.
so you said, so what was your plan?
I was taking the party in my regiment.
To try and see if we can't parlay with who's up at the keep.
Yeah,
so
well, it's interesting seeing the gang back together again. However, I'm not sure how much I'll contribute to parlaying with some mayfly.
About as good as you always
What?
did. Which is horribly.
I mean, wait, I might have not heard it, but did not if you approach me or me in the middle of the night or anything like that?
No.
Okay, so just see her fucking popping out of nowhere then. Not Alfie? Damn.
That is my name.
God. Well, you are a surprise.
Swallowed.
God, I think we're only missing Rika and Silas. Or Silas, really.
Silas is dead. He is
Why'd you say that name?
Oh. Oh. Right.
Hess will kind of look over at Flynn and just kind of low key, give him low key dirt on what that was about.
Oh. Shit.
Nasty business, nasty business.
Sounds like it.
God.
Alright, so yeah, I guess you guys, do you guys kind of go around the town? Do you guys kind of go up to the town first?
I'll go to the town first.
Yeah.
See if they have a mediary.
You're in charge, so I'm just following with you.
So you guys make your way to the town, and you get to kind of like the entrance of the town. And next to the sign that says Beckenhoven, there is a kind of like a big oak tree that's kind of just sitting there. And there is a man that has been hung. And he is completely naked, and it looks as if he has a piece of parchment nailed into his chest.
Can we read it from here, or do we have to like cut him down?
Or you can just like go up to it and like take it off.
Can my elven eyes read it from here?
But you gotta say it like that.
I mean, you're literally like in front of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely take a good read of that.
Yeah, basically it just says, the bailiffs took our money, so we took their life. Stay out.
Seems the message is fairly clear.
I suppose the parlay is over now.
Yes. Oh, I just remembered actually. The hard one. When we get back into Bergen, whatever like the town's name was, there was also the issue with a Sir, like the guy who may have been cornered in that shop. If he hasn't left, he should be advised to do so because the crowd was out for his blood. I managed to talk them down, but if he stays, well, it probably will end up something similar to this.
Oh. Hopefully he got out while the getting was good after you calmed down the crowd.
Hopefully.
Nonetheless, it seems in this current circumstance we should probably see what the scouts say, unless you want to take a look around LFE.
So as you guys are like staying there in front of the tree, you notice that a group of 6 kind of come out of one of the nearest buildings from like the sign to like the actual like town, and you see they're kind of like holding just like fucking like shovels, and like 3 of them are holding like shovels, one of them just holding like a fucking like a hoe, and the others are like they have like daggers and shit like that. And you see them kind of slowly walking towards your group.
Good day,
Suppose we
gentlemen.
Says, what's the meaning of this? And one of them will kind of like, he has like a dagger in his hand, he's kind of just flinging it around. Says, who are you?
My name is Hartwin Dassler. I've come to see what has been going on in the township of Beckhofen. We were hoping to open the trade routes again. Many of poor people are starving. Obviously, you've already exacted your revenge on these bailiffs and those who've stolen your money. I see no reason to make other good farmers suffer.
He says, look in front of you. That is what's been happening the last 3 years. As we had to do what we needed to do to survive, and we will continue. If others want to survive, then they must take up arms as well. As people of your status do not care for people of ours. You come here to oppress us, nothing more.
If I came here to oppress you, I wouldn't be speaking to you first.
Of course you would. You have to retain some sort of fake honor.
Nonetheless, I assume there's no other mediator or superior I could speak with who speaks for the whole of your group.
You could. He's up a mile that way at the fort.
Might I have his name then, gentlemen?
Go up there and find out yourself. They'll kind of like spit on the ground.
I'm gonna commit every single one of these people's faces to fucking memory.
Right?
Don't worry. I'll leave you to your township.
He'll just kind of like wipe like the remaining spit that kind of like went on his lips and just kind of like flick it on the ground. And then they'll just kind of like stand there up against the building.
Shall we? Let's head on.
If we must.
I'll lean in and talk to Nyla quietly. I don't expect you to follow along. If you feel there's something you need to check out in the township, then rightly do so.
Perhaps I might linger back from you all, hide in the woods a bit with my bow, and just keep an eye out. It might fit me better. Still getting used to this cavalry business here with this horse.
It's understandable. Makes you feel a lot taller, not like you weren't already used to that height already. Hopefully we can resolve this peacefully.
Indeed, indeed. These dire times don't necessarily have to have more bloodshed, but looking at our track record, I'm ready for combat.
Hopefully the person in charge is not as brutish as those at the gate.
But I think that's where I'm going to end the session.
Alright.
And I'm gonna have to study mounted combat.
I might be able to teach you.
I mean, I've only found the fucking blurb on 163 so far.
That's all there is.
God damn.
But just so you guys know, as if you count as like a size larger because of your horse.
Mm-hmm. Plus 20.
If you're a size larger, and you are engaged with somebody, it's like when you're engaged. I was reading it. It's like once you commit to an attack or you get attacked by somebody, and then once there's a round of no one attacking each other, like say I attack Josh, we're engaged, but neither of us attack each other for a round. We're not.
Oh.
Interesting.
But for a mount for a creature, so if you're larger than a creature, you basically, it doesn't matter if you're engaged or not. You can move freely because the book describes it as like you're just moving past them because you're bigger than them or some bullshit. I don't know.
Ride
So you
by.
basically ignore opportunity attacks.
I mean, have you ever tried to stop a horse and dead in front? You're gonna get fucking destroyed.
I'm just
Actually,
saying,
yes, Josh. How'd you know?
I'm just saying, like, in the terms of like, if you're like a goblin or like a
that-
person, that still counts.
Yeah. But I can't like ride by a fucking troll because it's about the same size.
Yeah.
And there's no way in hell
On
I'm
the
gonna
side,
dance around.
on a side note, especially when I used to work at fucking horse farms when I was younger. When they're fucking smartasses, they'll body check you. I'm not even kidding. Like, a horse will fucking chest bump you just to be a fucking smartass and knock you down.
Just their way
I
to
was
show
watching,
dominance.
I was watching it because I went on to like a farm, and I was helping them like do their like bullshit, and they're shoeing a horse, and like you could tell when the horse was like giving attitude and shit, because he'd like try to like bump him or like shake his
Oh,
foot or something.
Sorry, I thought you said they were shooting the horse.
No, shoeing.
Huh.
But I also
They
heard
shoot
horses are like they. These are like people that I guess have been like farmers for like most of their life and like have had horses most of their life. They're like horses are like one of the stupidest animals they've ever like come in contact with.
Yeah.
They're like little fucking toddlers. So if you just leave a horse like out on a field, like an empty fucking field, it'll find some way to fucking hurt itself.
Yeah, I've heard both. They're stupid as shit, but also fairly intelligent. But I'm not sure about that latter part.
I think it's like the assumption. At the same time, it's like how they say humans are smart, but we still have those who drink bleach.
Yeah. Like you can train, like just because I feel like just because you're trained to do something doesn't mean.
Yeah. Doesn't make
Doesn't
sense.
mean
Also, like
smart.
if it is capable of like giving attitude and shit like that on an emotional level, there's some intelligence there. But
Oh, yeah, there's definitely
Yeah,
some
grain of
intelligence,
salt.
but you always have
It's
the
above
Darwin Award.
average.
There's always going to be a Darwin Award. Now, if you're looking for a really dumb animal that can be trained, but still pretty dumb, ironically, the owl.
Owls are pretty fucking retarded. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's very weird, but it's kind of like because of books and other shit that just became associated by fucking social media as wisdom.
Wisdom.
yeah, fuck it back. That was Athena had an owl, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was her guardian.
Jesus Christ. Actually, I rep a bit on falconry and shit because I was bored. I have weird fucking research I don't know, whatever. Point is, you don't want to have an owl. You can teach an owl how to be a proper companion falconry, but it doesn't really help at all, and better options
Yeah,
for the same amount of like time investment.
they are not very capable.